Today, let's build this OpenGraph image generator. I'm going to build that with Next.js and Shadcn for the UI. As you can see, this looks super clean, and if I open that on the mobile, it's going to look like that, right? Responsive, super cool. And this is the generated URL. By default, we have this image, title, and description. If I paste that to new tab right here, as you can see, this is the result. And this link here, right here, you can just copy and use that on your metadata on Next.js application. I'm going to showing you how to put this link, right? And then here, basically, you can change the title and description, also the image right here. So for example, the title, I'm going to say Next.js, like that. And for the description, I just want to copy and paste, come from this extension here. And also for the image, I'm going to search the image in the Google search, and I think this image here is fine. And I open that with this open image in new tab, and this is what I have, right? I can just copy this link and paste that right here. Oh yeah, if I typing just random string here, if I click generate, as you can see, we have the invalid URL. That means this is secure. So I'm going to showing you also how to add the validation. Right, so we can put this link, and if I click the generate, as you can see, after a second, we see the result. Super cool. If I copy this generated URL, paste that to just this new tab right here, of course, we get the result, right? And this project is basically super cool. You can add maybe drop down for the dark and light mode. You can add maybe change the color of the gradient background right here. You can do whatever you want in this project, right? So yeah, without any further ado, let's get started. So here I have the OG image generator folder. This is the empty folder. And the first thing what we are going to do is basically I'm going to generate the Next.js application. So let's go to the Shadcn. Let's go to ui.shadcn.com and go to this installation. And I'm going to install the Shadcn right here. I'm going to use npm. And then just paste it right here. So Shadcn will check your folder. If you don't have any Next.js application, it will asking you to generate new Next application, as you can see here. All right, so we can just say yes. And the project name, I say the current folder right here. And then it will generate that folder and file right here. For some reason, my screen recorder is just stopped. So basically, you can just enter all the questions, just say yes, everything. And now you have all of this, right? So now let's start the application. We can say npm run dev. And then let's go to the global CSS. And what we are going to do is just remove this utilities body and the root right here. We don't need that. And just leave it at this tailwind and also the layer all the way into this base right here. Just leave it like that. And now let's refresh, and hopefully we get background white by default, I believe. Yeah, this one. Super cool, right? Now, as you can see, the newest Next.js template have this font, local font by default, because on the previous version, the font is going to become from the Next/Google, I believe, come from the extension, right? So now it's just give you the example how to use the font on the local. And I think we can see that on the layout, and this is how we grab the local font. Use this local font, come from the next font local. Okay, looks super great. And how to use this font, maybe we can check that on the page. And right here, I think. Yeah, font, and then we can say font family. All right, this is the different way how to set the font on the page. All right, so anyway, let's continue our project, right? So first, I'm going to just remove all these div right here. Just remove all of that. And I just want to render single div right here. And then basically, I want to create another component here. Let's do with file. And then let's see. Yeah, on the app, we are going to create components folder. Components folder, and inside the components folder, I'm going to create the OG form.tsx like that. And here we can say RFC, hit enter. Let's do OG form. All right. And then let's put the OG form right here. Just like that. Right. So now we should see this OG form on the browser. Great. So let's first go to the OG form right here. And then I'm going to put the heading one just for styling. I'm going to say left because on the left we have the input form basically, and the right we have the preview, right? Just do it like this. So in this div, I want to say class name, and then here I can say the maximal width into, I'm going to set that to, let's say 6XL, and also the MX to auto to make it that on the center. If I save, and this is what we have, right? So now I'm going to say for the medium and more, I'm going to add the grid. And then for the medium and more, I'm going to say the grid column, it should be true. Say grid column, I'm going to say 2 column like this, as you can see on the left and the right, super cool. And then here, I also want to add for the medium and more, with just the gap, I'm going to set that to 6. And yeah, I think we're done. And here we can say class name background. Right, this is how you basically create the layout on your Next.js application, because this is super useful. So you can see we have the gap right here, right? But when I go to the mobile view, we don't have any gap, right? As you can see. So we can achieve that by say space y into 6 or whatever value you want. As you can see, now we have the gap, right? Super great. And I'm going to add another padding here, padding X. I'm going to do 4. As you can see, we need to remove the this space Y here on the medium and more. So we can do for the medium and more, I'm going to say space Y to 0. And here we go. Cool. So we're done with this grid system right here. And then next, I'm going to, let's remove this H1 right here and put a div. And then I'm going to add a class name called, I'm going to do background card. And also the padding, I'm going to say 6. Let's say rounded to large. Also, I'm going to say border. And then the shadow, let's do, I think medium is fine. Right? Just put random something in here. I'm going to copy that and paste it for the text on the right side. And as you can see, this is what we have, right? Left and right here. Cool. So what the next? I think I'm going to add padding Y to maybe 12. Just to kind of add space around in here. Right. I think now it's super great. Let's working first with the form, right? So let's add heading 2 first. Heading 2, and I'm going to say OpenGraph image generator. Like that. And for the heading 2, let's add some class name, text to XL. And then the font, I'm going to say bold. Also the margin bottom, I'm going to say 4. Okay, great. So under in here, we are going to put the form. To create the form, we are going to use the Shadcn UI right here. So let's go to form. I think the better way to create form is use this form from the Shadcn UI. As you can see, the Shadcn UI use this React hook form by default. And then how to use that? Simple. We'll just copy this command right here. Go to terminal, and we need to just paste that right here and hit enter. It will install the form for us. Just wait for that. All right, so it's done. So basically it's installed the form.tsx, button.tsx, and label.tsx. So we can say npm run dev again. And as you can see on the, the component, it should be outside the, oh yeah, my bad. We have a component right here. So I think I'm going to put the OG form on this component right here. Let's move that. And then here, I'm going to remove the component folder, remove that. And then of course the auto import is changing right here. And I don't want to put that on the UI, but on the component like that. As you can see, this is auto update, super great. Yep, I think everything works right now. Yep, it still works, I believe. And then what we need to do in this form. All right, so first, let's change the form into use client, because we are going to handle all the state right here or the input. So we need to use client in this component. After we're doing that, we need to import this Zod and create this form schema, right? And then for this one, I'm going to use title and then copy this 2 times, and I'm going to say description, and also I'm going to change this into maybe logo URL, just like that. And this is basically whatever you want, and I'm going to just say string, and then I'm going to change this to optional, like that. And oh yeah, optional, it should be function like this. We run the optional function, and then for the logo URL, I'm going to use z.union right here. Let's say union, and then I'm going to put array like that, and inside in here I'm going to say z.string like that dot URL. I can say z.string and I'm going to say length. If the length have a 0 value, we need to set that to this URL right here, and then we can put this as a optional. So what it means basically, if user not typing anything in this input field, don't run the validation. I mean, user can still click generate, but the image is of course by default use the default image, right? But if user typing something inside the input field, it should be at the validation, as you can see right here. That's why it's checking if the length is 0 right here. After we create the form schema, let's go to the Shadcn again. Next, we need to import this Zod resolver and use form from the React hook form. Let's just copy and paste that right here. And then the next thing is we need to do this, everything here. But just make sure you put that inside the function component. So let's copy this. Then inside in here, I'm going to paste that right here. Just like that. Just make sure this username, this default value have same value in this form schema. Because as you can see, the Zod resolver is used this form schema. So let's put the title. And then description, also the logo URL. Great. So now here's inside this div right here, down the heading 2, I'm going to put the form. So let's scroll it down a little bit, and then this is basically what we need to copy. So I'm going to copy all of this and then paste that right here. All right. So form is to become from the UI/form, also the form field, form item, label, form control, input. I think input we don't yet have that. So let's npx shadcn add input. Because as you can see on the documentation, we have this input right here, so we can add the input. So after we install that, now we can just copy, and I think we can just write import and the form description. Basically, I'm not going to use this form description. And form message. Basically, this is the error message that you can showing on the browser. Use this form message, right? And also the button. And as you can see, we have the error right here that say username don't available on this form schema. So we need to change that to title. Title is available, right? So we can say npm run dev to start the localhost 3000 again. Let's take a look what we have on the browser now. I'm going to refresh, and then it's still compiling. Yep, as you can see, we have this input and the submit right here. I'm going to make it bigger. The submit right here. Let's do generate like that. And then I'm going to use some icon, maybe this icon right here. And then let's add class name. The width, I'm going to set that to full. And then here we go. Look super clean. And the label, I'm going to change that to title. And then the placeholder, let's say type the title. Like, all right, super great. And then basically, as you can see on the file project, we have really similar all the field. As you can see, this is a input field. This is the input field. This is the input field. We not use the text area. We not use the upload, something like that. This is just all input field. So basically, we can map through this form field 3 times to get the 3 input field, right? So how do we do that? It's super simple. First, we need to create the array, right? Which is 3 values, so we can map through down here on the form field. So here I'm going to say cons. I'm going to say form, let's say form field list or whatever you want. And then here I'm going to set that equals to array. And then in here we have a label. And for the label, I'm going to say title for the first one. And we have the field. It's going to be title. Right, and I'm going to copy and paste that a couple times. And the next thing should be description. And then the field description. And then the next thing it should be the image. And the field it should be the logo URL. Right, just make sure the field it should be have value on this form schema. All right, after we create this form field, now we can just map through that on this form right here. So we can say form field list dot map, right? I'm gonna grab the individual item like that, and then down here we can just return. Wait, we can just, what I'm doing, I can just return all this form field here. So I can copy, okay, hold and put on the top right here. But as you can see, we get some warning here. That's because when we map through, we need to put the key, specific key. So here I'm going to use div. Let's do div and then put all this form field inside the div like that. And here I can grab the maybe the index, right? So we can put as a key right here. Okay, everything works, I believe now. Yeah, cool. Let's close the terminal. All right, so now we should see, as you can see, 3 input field, but all of these have the title. So of course we need to change that. So the name here, it should be come from the item dot field like that, and the label it should become from the field, not field, but item dot label. I want to adjust the space between the field, so let's go to space right here. I'm going to set that to 4. So now it's a little bit small, the gap right here, right? So as you can see on the name here, we get some warning, TypeScript error basically. As you can see, type string is not sendable to title, description, and logo URL. So basically, we need to specify this field here. It should be have this type right here. So I think here we can say interface call, let's say form. Let's do form field like that. And then here for the label, I'm going to set that to string, right? This label right here. And for the field, what I'm going to do is, let's say field, the field it should be have title and description. Then we can just copy this one and also have the logo URL. Right. So now we can put this interface on this array. We can say form field on array like that. And hopefully now it should be, okay, it works. As you can see, the error is gone and everything look clean right now. Cool. So now let's go back and see. I'm going to console log the value. All right, let's try if we get the result on the console. And I'm going to click generate. As you can see, all the value is empty by default. By typing something in here, just random something, the URL is invalid. I'm going to copy this URL here, paste it right here, generate. And as you can see, we got the result on the console. Right, look, works. Great. So now let's styling the box on the right side here, the image and the generated link down here, right? So let's go back and then let's go to this div here. I'm going to remove this random text. And in here, I'm going to say another div that wrapping the image. So this div should have class name background mute, and also the rounded, I'm going to set that to large. And then the overflow, I'm going to say hidden. And inside in here, it should be the image. But for now, I just want to put just single div. And then I'm going to add class name. Later on, I'm going to delete this div. Right, so in this class name, I'm going to say background to red 200. The width, I'm going to set that to 1200 pixel. And then also for the height, I'm going to set that to, let's say, 300 pixel. Just like that. So now let's save and let's take a look. As you can see, this is what we have, right? So now let's add the generated link down here. And then down the image, we have another div. This div should have class name flex and then flex column, because I'm going to put the text on the top and then the result on the bottom. So we can set that to flex column right here. And the gap, which is the space between this text and this generated here, I'm going to set that to, let's say, to right here. And then now I can put span. Let's do generated URL. I can copy this, paste that right here. And also inside in here, I'm going to put the div, right? And the background, I'm going to set that to mute. Like that. And also the rounded, I'm going to say medium. px for the padding horizontally, I'm going to set that to 3. And padding vertically, I'm going to set that to 2. Also, I'm going to make sure the text should be on the center. So I can say flex item center. Also the justify between. So basically, to put the text on the left and this icon on the right. So let's put the span here for the text link, right? So let's put span, and then here I'm going to just copy this random, copy the link, paste that right here, add some class name, and I'm gonna do, let's start with text small, also truncate. It's basically will remove the value if the values go all the way right here, right? So for example, let's just put a random string and let's add again. I think, as you can see, it's at this 3 dot right here. Okay, hope you can see that. Cool. So under in here, I'm going to put the button. So remember, we have the button come from the UI, so we can use that in here. So button like that. And then here, I'm going to use the copy icon. But anyway, we can import the copy icon from the Lucid React. And as you can see, I also import the check right here. And then basically it should be, as you can see, it works. And then the copy icons should have class name call. I'm going to set the height and weight right here. So the width, I'm going to set that to 4. And the height, I'm going to set that to 4 as well. And then also for this button here, as you can see, this have a styling button by default. I'm going to add some props in this button. The first thing is the variant. The variant, I'm going to set that to ghost because I don't want to use this color right here. As you can see, the color is gone. And also I'm going to use the size to icon size. Also the class name, let's say text to, let's do mute foreground. And when I hover this, I want to change the background mute. I want to still set the background to mute when I hover. Right, super clean. And then when I click this, set equals to, I'm going to create a function called handle copy URL. So let's create the function const handle copy URL set equals to arrow function, and I'm going to console log copy clipboard. Right, when I save and let's take a look, when I click this, as you can see, we get the text on the console. That means the handle on click is fire. Cool. So I'm going to create another state to basically handle the copy and copy it value. So let's say const, say copy it and set copy it. Set equals to use state. By default, I'm going to set that to false, right? When I click the handle copy URL, I'm going to set the copy it to true. Just like that. And then here, basically, I'm going to add the condition when copy it is true. I'm going to render the another icon basically. So let's just cut that out, put that right here. And also else put it like so. And here, instead of copy, I'm going to use check icon come from Lucid React. Right, great. So now if I click, as you can see, the icon is changed. All right, look super clean. All right, so after we create this UI, I think now we are going to working with the road. So basically, I want to, when I go to /API/OG, it will make a GET request and showing the image right here. So let's first create the road. And then inside the app here, I'm going to create a file. So basically, this is going to be folder first, API folder /OG folder and /road.tsx file. Right, so in here, I'm going to export of basically a sync function. And the function name should be get because we are going to make a get request. And then we have a request props right here that have type next request, right? And in this get right here, I'm going to return, let's say response. I think we can do something like this, hello world, or maybe we need to say new response. I think new response, and then let's try to refresh this one. As you can see, we get a hello world, right? That means it successfully make a get request on this road right here. So of course, we don't need just a hello world. We need to return some image. So we can use new image response basically. All right. So here I'm going to use try and catch. Let's say try and catch down here, right? Grab the error like that. And inside this try, what I'm going to do first is let's return new image, say image response, right? The image response, it should become from the Vercel basically. So it's not going to become from the next server. As you can see, it's not come from here. It's deprecated, right? Let's remove it. So here I'm going to say npm install add Vercel /OG, right? Just hit enter. And then let's just wait for that. Okay, it's done. Let's run npm run dev again. And we can going to import this from the Vercel /OG, right? In this new response, I'm going to return, let's do return here, and then let's say div, right? Let's do h1 first. Let's say hello world. I'll just make sure this is working. Let's refresh, and hopefully now it's nothing right here. That means it's not rendered. I think that's because we didn't specify the width and height. So here I can say the width into 1,100, and also the height I'm gonna set that to 630. Save, and then let's reload. We still not see the response. As you can see on the console here, we have an error that say expected div to have explicit display flex, display none if there's more than one child node, right? So basically here's on the div, we need to specify the style. I think let's say style, and then display, I'm gonna set that to, let's say flex, and I save, and then here we go. Right, we get the hell worked right here. Super cool. A typo, but anyway, it works, right? We have a display flex, and then flex direction, I'm gonna set that to column. Also, I'm gonna add the line items to, let's do center. Also the justify content, let's also do center. Also the width, set that to 100%, and also the height, I'm gonna set that as well, so 100%, and then the padding 40 pixel. Right, so now hopefully we get nice response here. Oh, the hello world, it's right here on the center, but it's looks super big. Yeah, anyway, we zoom in right there. Okay, as you can see, look super clean, right? Let's add another thing in here, the heading one. I'm gonna change that to something like maybe, yeah, hello world, and then we have another paragraph here to say like, I think I just want to copy come from here, from this extension, like that. And basically we can also add styling with TW because we're using a Tailwind, right? So we can say like TW, and we can say margin top, for example, A, we can say text 6XL, basically Tailwind classes. So we can do font bold here, and we can say text wide, like that. And for the P tag, we can say TW, and then we can do text 4XL. Also the text, I'm gonna change that to white color. All right, so let's refresh, and as you can see, we got the result. All right, we got the hello world and also the text down here. And also the background, I'm gonna change that to the linear gradient. So I just want to copy this background here, right? This is nice background. Let's save and reload. As you can see, we got the image right here. Look super clean, nice. So I think I'm gonna close this terminal, and then what the next thing I'm gonna showing you is let's render the image, right? So I think here I can say image tag in here, and the source is, it should be come from the decoded, let's say logo URL folder. We don't have this constant variable, so let's first create that up here. So I can say const decoded logo URL set that equals to. So in here, basically I'm going to create the constants, so constant folder, and inside a constant folder I'm going to create a file called, let's do env.ts, right? So in here, basically I just want to export a variable called, let's say deployment, I'm gonna say deployment URL set equals to, I'm gonna say process.env. Basically we get the env value, so I can say next underscore public underscore base underscore URL. If we have that value, I want to use that, right? So here we can use backtick, and then I'm going to grab this value and putting that on here, and else I just want to render http:// localhost 3000. So basically, if we have this value, we need to use that, right? If we not have that value, we are going to use the localhost 3000. This is basically the public base URL when we upload our code here on the Vercel or anywhere you want, basically, right? So in a decorated logo URL, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say backtick in here, and I'm going to put the deployment, say deployment URL like that, and / images. As you can see, because we are going to grab the logo on the public, we don't have yet, right? So, oh yeah, we have the public images and logo right here. So we are going to grab that logo. So we can say images / logo.png, right? So basically this is will becoming the localhost 3000 / images / logo.png. So we can access the logo by say right here, if you want to see, right? / images / logo.png. As you can see, the image is rendered. All right, cool. So now it's going to be look like this because we don't yet implement the width and height for the image right here, right? For the alt, we can just say logo. And then for the width, I'm going to set that to 200. And then the height, I also want to set that to 200. And also let's add the style right here and object fit. I'm going to set that to contain. So now if I save, and as you can see, we get this really nice logo going on right here on the center. Super cool. And basically, I just want to render the image when the decoded logo URL have a value. So I can say if the code logo URL have a value, I want to render this image right here. But I still get the error here that say it's better to use the image tag instead of just image, but I'm not sure the image is not working on the road. So I just want to disable the next line for the next no image element, right? So everything look clean, nice. So of course now we get the image. All right, super cool. And then how that we can make this title and description dynamic? That means we can add a question mark in here and we can say title set equals to, and we can send like maybe let's say Next.js like that. So how would we grab this title? Super simple, like we see right here, we grab the request, right? So from here we can say I'm gonna do inside the try, we can say cons. We can grab something from new URL, and we're gonna put the request.url right here. So in here, I'm gonna grab the search param like that. So let's grab the title. Title set equals to search, let's say search params.get, right? We're gonna grab the title like that, because as you can see, after question mark, we send the title set equals to Next.js. So if I console log the title, we get the Next.js, of course. So let's copy and paste this couple times. This should be the description, and we grab the description as well. This should be the logo URL, and of course we are going to get the logo URL. All right, just like that. So now we need to render the title on the image right here. Instead of hello world, I'm going to render title, right? And all of this, it should be description, just like that. So now if I send title to Next.js and the description set that equals to this text right here, when I hit enter, as you can see, we have the Next.js and this tag down here, right? It works, super cool. And how about the image? So here, as you can see, logo URL, we just get this logo by on the local here. So we need to also grab the logo from the URL, which is the logo URL right here. So if the logo URL have a value, what we need to do is basically we need to use the logo URL. But we first need to decode the URI component and put the logo URL inside in here. And of course, we need to add a colon right here. Nice. So we have the condition and then we render that on this image. Super cool. And now if I say n right here and send this logo URL set equals to, I'm going to send this right here. As you can see, if I hit enter, now we should see the image, right? Super cool. That means our road is working perfectly fine for now. But as you can see on the error here, I just want to copy and paste the catch right here. It doesn't really matter. So I can just do, if the errors happen, I need to just console error this console log right here and also this respawn, right? So we're done with the road things. And now let's go back to the localhost 3000. All right, so now we need to render the GET request for the OG on here, right? So let's go back to the app and then page on the OG form. And we need to basically render that on this right here, right? So the first thing is I'm going to create a state to handle the preview URL, to handle all the link that you see when I access the OG road, right? So here, let's do that. So basically, I'm going to create state call. Let's do preview. I want to say, let's say preview URL is fine. And set preview URL like that. Set equals to use state. By default, it's going to be empty string like that. But by default, when user on the first time refresh the browser or access the website, it should be sending the default value on the preview URL. So we're going to do that in this use effect basically. So here's first, I'm going to create variable called params. Set equals to new, let's say new URL search params like that. And then here, I'm going to say params, let's say params dot append. All right, we're going to send the value on these params and we're going to append the title. And the value that we are going to send is, I'm going to say welcome to my site, just like that. And also I'm going to copy and paste this a couple times. This should be the description like that. And the description, it should be come from my text right here. Just want to copy that and just paste it right here. And for the logo URL, it should be come from the right here, the image that we store on the local, just on the public right here, so we can access that with this, I think on the API, so we can access that like this one, right? So we can just copy that and then paste that right here. Okay, of course we need to import the deployment URL variable. Cool. So now down here we are gonna say set preview URL into, of course, first, because this is a parameter, that mean we have to change that to string first. So here we can say cons og image URL set equals to, I'm gonna use backtick /API /og equals to, and then we're going to put the params right here. Let's say params, right? So now we can send the OG image URL on this set preview URL, just like that, right? So now this preview URL can be the image that we see on the OG, right? When we access that, and we are going to render that on this image, which is div right here. So what I'm going to do is let's remove this one, and I'm going to say if the preview URL have a value, I'm going to render the image. So in here, we're going to use image come from the next image like that. And inside in here, we're going to send a couple things. First, the source. Wait, the source, it should be come from the preview URL. And the alt, I'm going to do OpenGraph, let's say image. Also the width, let's do, I'm going to say 1200. And the height, I'm going to say 630. And also for the class name, I'm going to say width to full, and also the height full, also the object into cover, right? The object fit cover, right? That's right here. Looks super clean. Of course, this is not work for now because we don't handle anything on this generate button right here. So let's do that. Here, as you can see, let's remove the comment. We don't need that. In here, we are going to grab the, let's say, cons. We grab all the value come from the values. Set equals to values. So here we grab the title, description, and the logo URL, right? And what we're going to do, it's super simple. Basically, it's similar like what we're doing on the use effect right here. All of that. I'm going to copy that and paste that right here. I'm going to change the default title here into the title come from the value. And also the description is going to be come from the description. Let's do description. Also the logo URL is going to be come from the logo URL. Let's just remove all of this and we can say logo URL. But as you can see, TypeScript's not happy with this because sometimes the value is just undefined. So here I can say if the title have a value, I want to run this param append title right here. Let's say description have a value. I'm going to run this description right here. And also if the logo URL have a value, I want to run the parent append logo URL right here. Change these params into string. Let's say to string like that. And of course, we need to also do that on the use effect because I forget that. So on the use effect, we also need to change that to the string. Let's try to go back and I'm going to change the title to Next.js, for example. I click generate and here we go. We have the Next.js right here. And for the description, I just want to copy this title maybe. Let's generate. We get the title. We have the description, right? And for the logo, I just want to copy this one. Let's try in here, generate, and hopefully we get the, I'm not sure why we not get the logo. The image is not updated. It's because I just typo right here. It should be logo, not log URL. That's why the road is not recognize that because we just grab the logo, not log URL, right? So let's try it. So here I'm gonna paste the URL that I copy from this link right here, paste that in here, and then let's click generate, and hopefully now works, right? We get the image right here, and if I change that title to Next.js, we of course get the title, and if I change the description, of course we get the description here. All right, it works. And the next thing is we need to change this generated URL, right, value. So let's go down here, this one here. What is rendered on this pane is basically the URL. So I'm going to render a backtick in here. So let's say backtick, and I'm going to say, let's say deployment URL, and I'm going to add the preview URL here. So now as you can see, we got this result on the generated URL. But as you can see, I think we need to adjust a little bit margin top, I think, on the generated URL right here. All right, so let's say on the span here, I'm going to say class name to margin top on to 4, save, and let's take a look what we have. Right, super cool. Its look works. So now I can copy this generated URL, paste that to the new tab right here, And let's see. Oh, I'm not copy that. I think the copy functionality is not works for now, right? Yep, it's not yet works. So let's try to make it works. Let's go to the handle copy URL. This is basically just makes this state copy to true. So we not do anything with the clipboard. So how do we get the value on the preview URL and put that on the clipboard so we can just paste the value? So basically we can use something called navigator clipboard. So first I just want to grab the full URL. So I can say const full URL set equals to, I want to just copy and paste come from the, let's see, this one, right? I'm going to just copy all of this and then go up here, paste that right here. And now I can say navigator dot clipboard and then write text. And then I'm going to put the full text right here, full text like that, full URL. And then we can add .then here, right? After we successfully copy the text into the clipboard, we need to run this .then right here. So let's say .then, we run this function. First, I'm going to set the set copy back to true. And then I'm going to say set timeout. This is basically will make the copied value back to false for maybe 3000 milliseconds, which is every 3 seconds after I click the copy it, the logo should be becoming the copy icon, right? So here I'm going to copy that, and here I'm going to say false, just like that. So now let's try to copy this generated URL. I'm going to copy that. After 3 seconds, it should be back to the copy icon. As you can see, that's the paste icon. And now after 3 seconds, copy icon. Cool. So now let's open another new tab here, and I'm going to paste that, and bam, right? We get the value. And of course, this is works. I can do Next.js. I can copy this title here as a description, and I can just copy this logo link generated and copy that, paste that to this new tab right here. And as you can see, we got the result, right? Pretty cool. So next thing is we are going to basically upload this code on the GitHub, and then we are going to deploy on the Vercel, right? So let's do that. All right, just open your GitHub account, and then here create new repository, and you can give any name you want. And in this case, I'm gonna say, let's do OG image, let's say image generator, or any name you want, doesn't really matter. And you can add any description here. I just want to make it public and create repository, right? And then it will create a repository. And then what we need to do next is let's just commit the code here first. I'm gonna say git add all, right? And after we're doing that, we can just basically copy this one and then copy that, paste that in here, and we need to just enter all of this, and it will push our code into the GitHub repository. And now I can refresh, and here we go. Our code now it's online. So of course you can also clone the repo right here. All right, after we upload the code on the GitHub, now let's open the Vercel. Go to vercel.com and click this add new project. And then let's select the repository that we created, which is right here, OG image generator. As you can see just now right here, and click import. And for the name, just leave it like that. And now let's just click deploy. The deployment process is running. As you can see, this is the deployment started. We need to just wait until it's done. All right, it's done. So as you can see, congratulations, you just deploy a new project on Vercel. Let's click this image here, and now we have the link right here. All right, pretty cool. It works, of course, but the image it's not works. I'm not sure what happened. Let's try to refresh. The image still not works. So let's go to constant and env. Basically, we're going to use this next public base URL. Let's paste that right here and just click save. All right. I think the process deployment is not start automatically. So let's go to deployment, and we are going to redeploy that like right here and just say redeploy. As you can see, the process deployment is done. So let's take a look right here. And as you can see, we got the link right here. That's the link what we need to have right from here. And then as you can see, we have a double slash right here that make our image not read it. So I think we need to just go back to settings and environment variable. And we are going to edit this thing here. Remove that / in the end of the link. Save. And then go back to the development. And we can just say redeploy. All right, as you can see, it's done. So let's go back to this link right here. I think on the project, and I'm gonna click this one. And now hopefully the image is rendered. And let's see. All right, so finally I found the problem. The problem is on your road right here, you need to add this runtime to edges. This is basically important when you want to render image on the road. All right, after you add this line of code right here, what you need to do is say git add all, and then you can do git commit and the message whatever you want. And then after that, you need to say git push origin main. And after you hit enter, the GitHub will automatically read the new code, and then also the Vercel will be automatically redeploy. And now this is what you should have right now, and the image should be rendered. Okay, we got the live version of our application right now, and hopefully this is working. So I'm going to change the logo to this link right here. So let's try it. Let's paste that in here. As you can see, it should be works. Nice. And the title, I'm going to say Next.js, and the description, I'm going to put this one, generate, and hopefully it works, right? It works. Great. So the next thing I'm going to showing you is how to use this link to basically putting that on our Next.js application. Here I have already generated new Next.js application. I'm going to say cd into the folder name should be try my OG. Let's open that into Visual Studio Code. And then here I'm going to say npm run dev to run the localhost 3000. Let's see what we have on the browser. We should see the default template of Next.js. Just make sure you install this extension here. This is really useful when you want to working with the social share preview right here. As you can see now, it's just empty. There's no metadata in this template. So let's go to the layout here. And then as you can see, the metadata, it just have a title and a description. Title is basically what you see in here. And description is basically when you're this one here, right? If you share your a website on social media, it's going to be look like this. How do we add the metadata for the image? Simple. On the layout.txt right here, we can just say OpenGraph like that, and then put an object, and inside in here we can say images, right? Images and then array like that, and then we are going to put the link right here. So basically, let's try it. I'm going to say maybe this one here. I'm going to copy that and then paste that right here, right? Of course, this should be a string like that. So let's try to save and see. As you can see, all right, we get the preview image right here. That's pretty cool. If you want to change something, of course, it works. You can do Next.js maybe 14 and click generate. As you can see, after it's generated here, we can just copy that link and just paste to your OpenGraph right here. Paste that, and then now it should be updated, right? All right, that's it for this video, and hopefully guys, you learn new things, and yeah, see you on the next video. Bye bye.